3b, we got, let's see, 2x squared plus 2y squared minus 8x plus 8y minus 2 equals 0. So we're going to go through the steps, but this time I'm going to go kind of fast-ish. Fast-ish. Not fast, but fast-ish. Because this is the kind of thing that you should be able to do quickly-ish if, you got all the steps. First step, x is together, y is together, numbers on the other side. So we got 2x squared minus 8x plus 2y squared plus 8y equals 2. First thing we do, x is together, y is together, numbers on the other side. Then check to see if you can factor something out. We didn't do this on the first one just because we didn't have a 2 on the first part. You always want to make sure we get rid of the number in front of the x squared. Okay, no matter what it is. So here's what we do. What we can do, first of all, we can divide everything by 2, just make our lives easier. Okay? But what I'm going to do is just kind of do it in a different way, just to kind of prove something else. So what we could do here is we could have 2x squared minus 4x plus 2y squared plus 4y equals 2. Once again, still grouping my x's together, still grouping my y's together. But I can just pull the 2 out of both. Okay? So then, at this point, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Half it and square it. Still half and square. So we're going to do negative 4 and half, square it, and then positive 4, half, and square it. Let's see, this is going to be negative 2 squared, which is 4. This is going to be positive 2 squared, which is also 4. Pause right there. Just make sure everybody's got it. Half and square. Half and square. Make sure you're going through each step. X is together, y is together. Factor out. See if you can factor out, because that's going to make this easier. So then, add and subtract. Add and subtract. Add and subtract what? These numbers, right? So you end up with 2x squared plus, minus 4x plus 4 minus 4. Notice I'm adding everything inside the parentheses. That's kind of important. All right? I'm adding everything inside the parentheses. So we got plus 2y squared plus 4y, and then plus 4 minus 4 equals 2. So we do in the plus minus part, all on the inside. Let me reiterate. This problem would be so much easier if you just divide everything by 2. But I'm trying to show you this way just in case everything doesn't divide. Does that make sense? All right, because sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then you can't do that. But in this case, it does, so that'll be much easier in this case. So check this out. What we can do now is we can say, okay, we know that these 3 together are going to make what squared?
X minus 2.
Yes. Right? It's going to be x and then plus whatever this was squared. I'm going to do that up here. So we end up with x minus 2 squared. And everything else I'm going to put in there. We got the 2 and we got the minus 4. And then what about these 3? These 3 y's? It'll be what?
X plus 2.
Yeah, it'll be y plus 2. Yeah, y plus 2 squared. So, and then we got y plus 2 squared minus 4. And technically, I should be using brackets, not parentheses here. Equals 2. I'm going to pause right there. I just want to make sure everybody can confirm and make sure that makes sense. Because that's why you do plus b over 2 squared minus b over 2 squared. Because you're going to do x plus b over 2 squared. Another way to think of it is you can do x plus this squared and then minus that squared. But this is how I was taught. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this out. So I'm going to get 2 times x minus 2 squared minus 8 plus 2 times y plus 2 squared minus 8 equals 2. The reason I did it like that is so now that I've got my x minus 2 squared bit, or my x plus something squared bit, or my y plus something squared bit, I can mess around with the rest of it. The way I'm going to do that is I'll then say, yes. Okay. So you were cool up until this point, is that correct?
Cool down to divided.
Here.
Yeah, and then somewhere along the line I just.
All right. So a way to think about completing the square is that it's like x plus b over 2 squared minus b over 2 squared. So here's what I mean by that. So we had, up here we had x minus 4, right? So this was our b value. So basically what we did is we said x plus negative 4 over 2 squared minus negative 4 over 2 squared. Okay? That's just the formula. So negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. Negative 4 over 2 is negative 2 again, but it's negative 2 squared, so it's 4. And that's what that is. And we did that not only for this one, but also for this one. Now, does that make sense? Then what we said is, okay, let me multiply this 2 out. And that's what I got. Because 2 times that is just 2 times that. And then 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 2 times that is just 2 times that. And then 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Any other questions? Good question. Did I answer that though? Is it making a little bit more sense? Now, let's add both these 8s over there. So if I do that, I end up with 2 times x minus 2 squared plus 2 times x plus 2 squared is equal to 18. We're adding both 8s over there. I add 8, 10, add the other 8, 18. Then you can divide everything by 2 now. So we can go x minus 2 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. So what's our center going to be? Yep. And our radius? That's 3. Questions? Now let me reiterate. This would have been a lot easier if we just divided everything by 2 in the beginning. Okay? Remember, the only reason I showed you this way is just in case everything didn't divide evenly. You know what I'm saying? But when in doubt, if you can, get rid of everything first. It makes everything so much easier.